All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back on again. Felons Talk with another edition. John is going to tell us another story today about clay fountain and tumbleweed.
Tumbleweed. Yeah. Okay, so check it out. Down in the control unit at that time, there was a lot of gunplay, zip guns, shootings, gunfights, grenades, all that shit going on. People were shooting each other and all that. And they were pretty good because when Pete Marlin, Larry Lucas, Donnie Morgan, and Boogie Newman stormed the fences on the yard at Marion and started shooting at the gun towers with them. They got the FBI got one of the zip guns. It was electric fired because they were either fuse fired or electric fired.
Right.
And they said it had the equivalent of between a 32 and a 38, right? And then down in the control unit, they had shotguns too, right? That would fire 22 quarter-inch stainless steel ball bearings. Anyhow, Lenny Graves, the unit manager in Merriam at that time in the control unit, H unit, started some shit with Clay. And so Clay wanted to get him. So Clay and Tumbleweed put together a couple of zip guns. They were on the front of B range, the 8 cells up front there. They were a couple of cells between them. Right. So they were going to get, when Lenny Graves walks during the day, they were going to get him on a crossfire and light his ass up with zip guns. So a dude named Mike Alsop, he got up on it and he told on it. So they moved him from B range over to A range, where, there's a lot of friends of Clay and Tumbleweeds. So as the story goes, they sent word over there, and somebody over there went down to was trying to get Alsop on rec with him, but he wouldn't go for it. So then whoever it was went down because they had boxcars on the fronts of the cells there. So he went down and he was talking to him he went into the boxcar cell and was talking to him through the bars, and he snatched him up and through the bars, and apparently he had a piece, and he got stabbing them or cutting them up through the bars, and also managed to get away like a big old 190-pound scalded cat. Thrashed and got away, and he was hiding behind this little locker in the cell. And the dude went and got all the trash on the tier in a big trash can, and lit it all on fire and threw it up in the cell and was slamming the front door, and the boxcar fanning the flames, had the cell burning. And the fucking, when the cops came, they said he was screaming, "Burn, rat, burn," right? So they fucking said it was me. So they arrest me and take me away to the back of B range, and I get a ticket for it. It was like assault or attempted murder or some shit. And they called me into the hearing, the disciplinary hearing, and it was some like a lieutenant, an AW, and Captain Carey, old Mad Dog Carey. So he reads the ticket to me. He says, "Man, this and that, blah blah blah. You reached through, stabbed him up, lit him on fire, and all that, and it was screaming, 'Burn, rat, burn.' How do you plead?" I told him, "Well, I'm not guilty." Right. He said, "Okay, we'll step out. We got to, deliberate." So I was out a couple minutes. He called me back in. He looked at me and he flipped the ticket at me like a frisbee. And he says, "You ready for this?" He says, "Not guilty." No, listen, Captain Carey, old Mad Dog Carey finds you guilty of everything. So there had to be something going on for him to find me not guilty of that.
You think it was?
I mean? Yeah. So.
What do you think? What do you think happened? Why he found you not guilty?
Why I got found not guilty?
Yeah. Why? Well,
well, first of all, I'm innocent. Listen. It was either misidentification or, they say everybody's got a double somewhere in the universe. Maybe it was my frisky doppelganger or something. I don't know, right?
Right.
but it wasn't me, right? So, but I think the reason I got found not guilty is they were trying to make all that shit go away because I think there was some deeper shit going on with that dude.
Oh, really?
You know what I mean?
I remember when Pete Marlin shot Larry.
Yeah, Larry Mays.
Right.
Yeah, and Pete Marlin was in the shower with Peg Leg Pirate
Peg leg was
and
out there
pulled
too?
the pistol on him.
All right.
Told him, get in the corner, get on the wall. So he's got old Peg Leg Pirate and McNally on the wall in the shower. And when they come walking in, Larry Mays is under escort with the cops. He fucking, Pete throws down and busts the cap. Hits Larry Mays, I think, in the shoulder.
Right, right.
But the plug that came out of the round, because the way we used to make them rounds, man, it's like the old Sharps rounds, right? The old Buffalo gun rounds.
Mm-hmm.
And the plug hit the cop in the neck.
Stahl. It hit Stahl. Yeah, I know. Officer Stahl. Yeah, he got 10 years for that shit, dude.
Oh, I know. And then they took him back
to
in
the
back of B range,
right.
where I was back there. In Vicious Aloysius, old Larry Vaughn was back there. And Larry Vaughn and Larry Mays was partners. So now Larry Vaughn's paranoid. He's thinking, fucking Pistol Pete Marlin is going to try to shoot him too. And I had a shotgun up underneath a radiator in the red cage on B range, and it turned up missing. And it turned out Pete Marlin found it and took it, right?
Oh, wow.
Because I sent him a kite, and when I came off a wreck, I shot him a kite. I told him, man, you take my shit. And he sent me a kite back. He said, man, I'm sorry, John. I didn't know it was yours. I would have never took none of yours. I said, well, shoot it back. He said, well, I already dismantled it and got rid of it. He says, man, that was a bad motherfucker, right?
Right.
So the thing is, but Larry Vaughn had his mattress tied around him like a big, giant, bulletproof vest, running around in his cell. He was scared he was going to get fucking shot up.
Is he really that fucking paranoid,
dude? By and do a drive-by on him, right?
Wow. Dude,
and, Larry Vaughn's crazier than 5 motherfuckers anyhow.
Yeah. I like the fuck out of him, though.
You know, he starts eating nuts and bolts and all this other shit, right? And so,
why did Marlin shoot Larry anyway? I remember one thing.
They had some static about something that happened out on the main line.
All right.
Because if you remember, Pete Marlin and Larry Lucas got arrested on an attempted escape thing the same time me and Jive and Big Moose got into it with the Goon Squad. When Moose didn't do nothing, and me and Jive got indicted for a fist fight with the Goon Squad.
You know
what I mean?
Yeah.
They got arrested at that time, and I think he said something about that Larry Lucas and Pete Marlin, they were doing like some homosexual shit or something.
Okay.
And
I remember Larry. Well, Larry Mays, after he shot him, he said, "PC move, motherfucker. PC move." Yeah. He said, "Why don't you wait until I got? Why don't you wait till?"
Hey, people don't understand just how fucking wild that shit that was down there.
There's a lot of paranoia going on. I know, a lot of paranoia.
And paranoia. This is why. Listen. This is why when, solitary confinement, sensory deprivation, and all the stressors that come with it, and then all this type shit too, whether it's like racial shit or all this other extracurricular shit, this is why motherfuckers get so vicious and violent, and the killings that happen down there are so brutal because your target becomes a catalyst so that all the other negative shit you're carrying in you from sensory deprivation and all that, you dump it on the target. That's why it comes out so like brutal and hateful and everything else, right? Those are situations where on one hand, they're brutal crimes, but on the other hand, man, they're like psychological therapeutic modalities. This is why guys always say after they do something like that, they feel better for a while. You know what I'm saying? Because they got all that shit out of them, man. That's what solitary confinement does. Listen, I told them a long time ago, I had either 60 minutes or 20/20. I told them, let me tell you something, man. You keep putting people in cages like that, deep solitary confinement, and burning them down. I said, I don't envy any of you having to meet or deal with the monsters that are going to come out the ashes at you, because that's what you're creating. Those are monster factories. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just got that book by what the fuck's his name? The guy that wrote all them books like Animal Factory and shit.
Oh, I know exactly who you mean. Out in California, yeah.
Yeah, he's a great author, man. What's it called?
Yeah.
What's it
Yeah.
called? Let me look at this book here.
You remember the dude that wrote In the Belly of the Beast, Jack Abbott?
Yeah, fucking idiot.
Yeah, he was an informant too.
I believe it.
Yeah, he lied on the People's Law Office out of Chicago. Got him barred from Marion for a while.
Yeah.
Then they were stirring up that whole work strike and all that. It was all bullshit. They never did none of that.
I believe he was a fucking rat too. Yeah.
No, he really did.
And he fucked his whole life up, man. The guy had a fucking shot at the world, man. He had money.
Got him out.
He fucking ended up.
And then he went and fucking killed that kid in that bistro up there in New York. Ended up getting like 25 life or something in the New York State prison system, and then hung himself.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
What a waste. Yeah.
You know.
But
so.
Oh, Education of a Felon is the name of this book, bro. Education of a Felon. Eddie Bunker. Eddie Bunker, yeah. And somebody told me there was something about Barry Mills in this book, so that's one of the reasons I bought it.
Barry, Cato Vargas, Little Mousy.
You've
Mousy
read the book?
Was the one that killed the AW and stuck his whistle in his throat during they threw him on death row over that.
You talking about whoever wrote this book? I mean, that shit's in this book that you're talking about?
Yeah, Animal Factories and all that. He wrote a bunch of books.
I know. Okay. I know he did. All right.
You know, he was careful what he said, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've read. I mean, he's made inferences about Eddie Vaughn, and he's made inferences about Mike Bartos. And, we can read through the lines who he was really talking about and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
Eddie testified in front of.
You have 1 minute left.
In front of the legislature out there. We already talked about that. And Eddie was a homosexual, but he was in an environment that was lethal for that shit back in them days. You know what I mean?
Right.
He could have got killed for that shit.
Hey, listen, bro.
All right, they're gonna cut us off, man. Good talking. You guys stay safe, stay up, man. I'll holler at you tomorrow.
All right, bro.
All right, later.
Bye. Yeah, I was there. One thing I remember about that shooting with Marlin was I could hear that it was loud. It was so, it kept echoing for maybe 10 minutes afterwards. It was ridiculously loud. I've never, maybe it's because it's the space that we were in, but it was super fucking loud, man. I never heard anything that loud in my life. It was crazy. And also, John tried to shoot the unit manager once himself and blew off 3 of his fingernails by accident when the gun exploded in his hands. He probably doesn't want to talk about that, though. I'll see you guys tomorrow, or maybe the day after tomorrow. How about that? See you guys.